Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I didn't realize that my list of all of the failures made by Canton PD that morning was so expansive that it would take 2 full videos. But here we are. I left off at the Ring camera situation. So many of you have asked why there was no Ring video, because they didn't want there to be. They never went to the neighbors and even asked if they heard anything, if they saw anything. I mean, this man is dead on the lawn. And for all they know, they have somebody who's going around attacking cops. This could have been somebody who attacked John and left him on Brian's front lawn as a message to Brian, like, you're next. Like, they completely, not only do they lack a skill set to be an effective police officer, but they lack the curiosity. They never went and asked for Ring camera. And if people refused to turn it over, they never subpoenaed any Ring camera. Just the guy across the street was like, yeah, I'm sure mine didn't capture anything. And they went, okay. And they left it alone. There wasn't anybody who tried to gather anything by canvassing the neighborhood. And speaking of Ring cameras, of course, wouldn't the very first thing you would ask is the homeowner, their own front lawn. Do you have some footage that we can look at? And nobody. There's in never any single one of these reports, even Officer Lank, who's the only person to even step across the threshold of 34 Fairview that morning, never asks, do you have cameras? Is there any footage that I can see? Nothing. This never comes up, not once, until the grand jury. When Brian Albert is testifying before the grand jury, one of the jurors says, don't you have a Ring camera? That is the only mention of any camera at 34 Fairview. And it was a juror that brought it up, not the police. Now, Lank did follow protocol when he called the Massachusetts State Police. So anytime that there's a death that they believe is a homicide, they're required to tell the Massachusetts State Police. So he did that at 6:48. He called, and according to MSP, it was like assigned to Proctor, maybe, but Proctor got the call, and Proctor was the one that was assigned to the case. Now, there's a pretty big gap in time, right? All of these officers go back to Canton PD, and Proctor and Buchanan don't even arrive until 9-ish. But when they get there, Higgins is at the station. And Good should have been able to say, oh, well, yeah, he was here last night, too. He is a cop and a witness and a party goer. And he was with John O'Keefe all night at the waterfall. He knows John O'Keefe. He'd been in flirtation with John O'Keefe's girlfriend, and he's never questioned. He's just magically standing there like, dude, what's up? I'm here. I hang out here all the time. I'm here. Should have been brought into a room to give his witness statement. It should have been audio taped, videotaped, and then there should have been a paper trail. None of that happened. When an officer writes a report, the sergeant, which in this case would have been Lank, is supposed to look over the reports just for thoroughness. Make sure you filled in every line. Oh, you missed a date. Oh, you didn't put a time on this one. You didn't sign this one. There's supposed to be an officer that goes through all of that. Lank didn't apparently do any of that, because when they turned them over to Proctor and then subsequently to the defense, there was so many pieces missing. Proctor never questioned why none of their reports didn't sync up. Proctor didn't question why there were missing dates, missing times, the address was wrong. None of that. Didn't question any of it. Never thought to ask twice why Lank specifically, individually, was called back to 34 Fairview for a second statement from Jen McCabe. She didn't call the dispatch desk. She didn't call the non-emergency number. She called Lank on his personal cell phone and had him personally come back to the house. Now, if I'm Proctor, I also would have said, so you were in the house. Did you inspect the house? Did you walk around the house? Is the house secured? Proctor never, ever kind of puts the screws to the Canton PD to say, you guys, you did a half-assed job. Did you at least tape it off? If I went over there right now, is it a secure scene? Like, he never even cared that the Canton PD did such a shitty job. And then Proctor just continues this slow roll of bad policing. He and Buchanan never go to the scene. They don't go to the scene. They don't take Officer Seraph and Officer Mullaney over there and go, let's go to the scene. Let's go walk the scene. Show me exactly what you saw. Since you didn't manage to take pictures and you didn't manage to take video, come with me. Let's go look. Proctor and Buchanan never go to the scene, and they don't secure the scene. They also have a dead cop at Good Samaritan, and they never go to the hospital. In fact, they decide to almost immediately follow up on the the girlfriend must have hit him, and the soccer mom has the story. Call the soccer mom. Call the soccer mom. She's the one that knows everything. Again, there's never been any formal interview with Jen McCabe. Lank has taken 2 statements from her, neither of which were audio or video recorded, and she was never taken to a station. She's allowed to give her statements in a room full of people. Everybody's allowed to do a group statement instead of individual witnesses being questioned. When he reads Lank's second report that says, now we got a soccer mom claiming that the girlfriend was worried she hit him, immediately someone go get the girlfriend in here and someone go get the soccer mom in here and let's get these stories straight. He never does. It is their complete lack of curiosity that no one ever even puts together like a full guest list. Like, who was all at the waterfall? How many of those people came to 34 Fairview? Is there anybody that would have witnessed something? If you have an officer on the lawn dead and you think it happened at 12:30 and there's 12 other people coming and going, but you don't interview any of those people, some of them for up to a year later. It's bad policing. When Proctor and Buchanan are at the Canton PD and those schmoes are like, here's the evidence we got, and they see like red Solo cups and a Stop and Shop bag basically sitting on the cement floor in the Sally Port, they don't do anything about it. They're like, yeah, okay, thanks. They don't verify chain of custody. They don't say, why isn't it locked up? They don't say, why don't we take that into our possession? Let us take that. Let's put it into the state's case. Let's secure it better. For some reason, that is photographed, right? There's photos of the Stop and Shop bag and the red Solo cups. We took plenty of pictures of that. They never follow proper procedure to secure it. They never take it into evidence as part of the now state case. They allow the Canton PD to hold on to it for some strange reason. See there, it's not even 7 a.m. and I just made 2 videos about piss poor police work that could give anybody sitting on a jury reasonable doubt. You don't even need the conspiracy theory. You don't even need to read the texts that Brian and Karen were sending to each other. You don't even need to hear that Garino failed to pull up all of the deleted calls. You don't need to hear any of that conspiracy stuff. All you got to know is that the police fucked this up just by bad police work. Even if they didn't intend to cover anything up, their own foolishness and stupidity caused this to be a bad case from the beginning.